So, because I want to respect everybody's time. The recording just started, so this session is going to be recorded. I will make the recordings available afterward. So first of all, good morning, grand rising to everyone. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your Saturday to come in and kind of celebrate this grand reopening with me. I just want to take just a minute to give you guys a little bit of perspective. Um, I'm moving into another phase of my life, of my professional career, and the truth is that this has been a long time coming. All right, ever since I walked across that stage of Wake Forest and picked up that MBA, my desire was to be in this financial services space, to be able to help families and make people understand, what it takes to be financially secure and build some generational wealth, and just to be right. And this has been a really circuitous path for me. I tried a couple times, had some life things that happened that sort of seemingly sidetracked me at the time, but now I'm realizing that um, I wasn't ready yet. I had to learn some things. So the opportunity has to be in the right place. My knowledge has to be in the right place, and I have to have the right team. So I tried to do this a couple years ago, and mom was trying to help me out, and it just wasn't really quite right yet. But now the universe has kind of thrown another little curveball in here, and it shut the window, and it opened up a door for me that really put everything in the right place at the right time. And the biggest difference is that this time I've got the right team. Okay, so I've had the pleasure of working with a group of agents at Assurance IQ and training them that we feel like a family. So the ability to bring them with me on this journey so that we can start to move into a better space. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to turn it over to Judy Sheffield. She's one of the executive directors here at Experior, one of many people who's been really, really helping our team get off the ground here. And then Jimmy Martin is going to do most of the heavy lifting today. All right. So you got it, Jim? You got it, Judy?
I sure do. And I just want to say congratulations to you, Leah,
Thank
for
you.
the decision to really, really take your career in financial services to the next level. And that is creating your own agency where you own your own book of business, you have your own agency, and you have a team of people that, from what I'm observing and seeing, that are really, really solid and come with experience. But we're here today to launch your re-grand opening of you personally having an agency as an executive director here at Experior, as you're having your own agency so that you create your own clients along with your team doing that as well. So I want to congratulate you because you're going to be moving into a space and not just offering insurance for death, but also retirement strategies, wealth building strategies for people, for their families, college funding and all, and leveraging insurance and the financial services as a way to really, really help people use their money while they're living in a way that they could really, really service themselves. So we recommend that you start off with your friends and family. I personally started off with my friends and family and wanted them to make sure that they had their situation in line. So that being said, I want to say again, congratulations to you. And I want to also welcome two other executive directors that have joined us as well, Dr. Mary and Eric Robinson as well. And that just goes to show that you, like you said, have the support of people helping you here. And we all are here to help your team as well move forward and have your own business. So congratulations. That being said, I'm going to introduce Jimmy Martin, who's going to do, as Leah said, a lot of the heavy lifting. I may come in on the end. We'll see how things go. But she's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And we really, really want to have a conversation with you. Jimmy Martin comes with 20 years plus of experience in the financial services industry. And he is a business partner of mine as well. And he is also part of the team and a very important piece of Leah also having her success here as well and continue to build so that she can be successful. So that being said, Jimmy, I'm going to turn it over to you and I'm going to monitor the chat. And also we ask that this be interactive. So he's going to ask some questions and you can come off of mute, or you can type it in the chat. But we encourage you, if it's something that hits you and you really have an answer and you want to chime in, we love group participation. So that being said, Jimmy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. And just to reiterate on what Judy said, if you don't feel comfortable typing in the chat, you have Leah's number. You can send her a text message, or what you can do, you can send her a direct message directly to Leah inside this chat here. What we're going to do today is we're going to cover, who we are and what Leah does and how we add value to each other. So I'm going to minimize the screen, so I'm not really going to be able to see much in regards of if anyone has any questions or raising their hand, but we have people that are monitoring the chat. So let's start. Let me just say, just think about this, and we have a doctor on the line, so he probably can back me up in this, that your life can only take one of three paths. You can live a long time. That's usually the goal of most people. You can die too soon. Think of maybe Kobe Bryant or Whitney Houston, or you become sick along the way. Think of somebody that had a heart attack. You probably know somebody that had stroke, somebody that had cancer. But outside of that, and you can type this in the chat, do you think there's any other path your life can take other than, again, we say live a long time? That's the goal of most people. Maybe dying too soon, like the Chadwick Boseman, or becoming somebody that's becoming sick along the way. They have some kind of illness and they have to go see the doctor that's on the line. Outside of that, can you think of anything else that could possibly happen? Any other path your life can take, or would you agree that everything that happens is going to fall into one of those brackets? Now, if that's the case, do you think for yourself, do you think it makes sense for you to put a plan in place to be able to cover anything that can happen, or just one or two of those things resonate with you? Now, you don't have to answer now, but if you see something there where you want to have a plan in place that can cover anything that can happen, Leah will be able to show you how to do that. Or if it's just one or two of those things that resonate with you more, she'll be able to show you how to put that in place. Maybe some of you may have what you consider some older plans, and she can show you how to upgrade to the newer ones. Now, the industry we're in, as you probably all know, Leah's in the financial services industry, mainly life insurance, and the largest industry on the planet. If you were to Google what industry created the most millionaires, you're going to see it's the financial services industry. So in the US alone, it's worth about $3.5 trillion. You think about that, putting that in perspective, if the financial services industry in the US was its own country, it would be top 10 in the world in regards to revenue. So it just tells you how big this space is, and a number of reasons why. One of the things I'd like to point out to people, most people understand, let's say we talk about life insurance, they understand it as death insurance, but life insurance is a whole nother side of it, where life insurance. So just think about this. Most of you probably have life insurance, unless if Leah. So just thinking about the advertisements you've seen or people talked about, what's the largest life insurance policy that you've ever seen or you've ever heard about? What would you say is the largest policy anyone has ever shared?
$100 million.
$100 million. Okay. Well, the Guinness Book of World Record, is a little bit more than that, but let's say $100 million. I think that was Dr. Sawyer. If somebody had $100 million policy, what do you think they're going to be paying for that policy on a monthly basis in order to keep that in place, so that they can make sure that the $100 million is paid out to their heirs in their estate? What do you think the premium is?
Of course, given age, maybe 10, maybe $1 million or something like that.
Right. So the person is exchanging $1 million to be able to pay. I mean, to be able to have that 100 million payout. Well, up until recently, the largest life insurance policy was ever created, and you weren't far off, Dr. Sawyers. It was $200 million, and it was for a billionaire who had that policy. Now, you think about a billionaire probably doesn't need a $200 million policy, and the premium which he was paying on that policy was actually $20 million a year. So you think after 10 years, that policy, he's gonna, after the 10th year, he's gonna be paying more in a policy than what it's worth. But what he knows, and most people know in regards to that, is that life insurance is a vehicle where you can put money in and be able to pull it out income tax free. So by him putting that money inside the policy, he can be able to leverage that money by pulling it out, by borrowing it against the policy, the life insurance policy, the asset, and he borrows against it. And he can take out, let's say in that case, maybe $500,000, $750,000, $1 million a year from that policy, where that doesn't have to count it as income. So we have strategies here, work with the company. This is done all the time where you can use bank financing to actually get one of these policies and be able to leverage it. So it's called, you can look it up, it's called the Kaizen. And this is for people that are affluent or emerging affluent. They have a little bit more money. They put it inside the policy and the bank matches $3 for every dollar they put in. So let's say somebody puts in $100,000 a year for 5 years, the bank's putting in $100,000. So after 5 years, that $200,000 every year, it's actually $1 million that's entered into that policy. 5 years later, the bank takes over the whole finance and they're putting in $200,000 every year. So now you have $2 million into that policy. And after 15 years, let's say that policy's grown, you start taking the money out. That's on the back end. People have, in addition to everything else they've done, they can take out another 100, 200, $300,000 every year from that policy to be able to supplement anything else in which they're doing. But now you're starting to see why this industry is so big. It's just the other side of what's in front of you. Most people have no idea. Now, this is where most people really understand life insurance in terms of if somebody were to pass away. And you can type in the chat or you can speak out. If you were to pass away suddenly, would you want your family's lifestyle to be worse? Would you want it to stay the same, or would you want it to get better?
Status quo. Status quo.
Status quo. You want it to be at least the same, or
Yeah, the same. They get better, they do worse.
okay.
Unfortunately.
Right. And Dr. Sawyer, that's usually how most people feel, and that's why most people prefer to have life insurance versus to have to do a GoFundMe. We all have probably seen or heard somebody that had to have a barbecue or let's say a car wash or a fish dinner or GoFundMe because somebody passed away. And this is kind of the death insurance. They didn't have anything in place for the death insurance. Now, we do that as well. You know, that's what people understand the most part, but Leia can help you take it a step further. So if you look at that picture there, you see that little girl, if that little girl became an orphan, Leia has a company that she works with that can enable that little girl's guardian to be able to receive $900 a month every month until the little girl turns 18. And if she decides to go to college, that company would actually pay $6,000 a year for that little girl to attend college for 4 years. Now, think about those that said that you had life insurance. The life insurance that you have now, does it give you the ability to do something extra like that? If not, then you may want to talk to Leia. She can be able to show you again how to be able to upgrade your policy. Now,
Just to give you some feedback, Jimmy, some people said they wanted to get better. Wanted to get better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Some said, oh, one person said, okay, yeah, better. Everyone get better.
Now, if you became sick and you couldn't work and you had to go see Dr. Sawyer, would you want to receive a get well card or a check? Just imagine. So when you think about this, like the biggest asset you have during your working years is your ability to earn an income. Let's just say you're making $75,000 a year and you had a heart attack or a stroke and you couldn't work for a couple of years. Well, you've lost for 2 years, you lost the $75,000. So you lost $150,000 in income. So I would imagine most people said if they became sick and they couldn't work, they'd rather receive the check than a get well card or probably both.
Well, we do have people who said they definitely majority said a check. One person said, "Give me a check, baby." So I personally would like both.
Okay. Well, now again, with the policies that you have in place now, this is kind of what we talk about when you say you have the old kind of insurance versus the new kind. Well, Leia can set you up, and it could be very simple in terms of what you have. She can just show you how to upgrade it to a policy where if you became sick and you couldn't work, she can have a plan where maybe it pays out on a monthly basis and it covers your rent, your mortgage, or your car payment, or it pays you maybe a lump sum where it covers you annually and say to replace that 75,000. So let's just
so yeah, so as you can see, we actually
let's just go. Hold on, we got somebody let me just okay, put them on mute. So let's just say that person, well, we said $100 million policy. Let's take a smaller policy. Let's say $1 million policy. And from that $1 million policy, let's say you take out 20% of that policy, 200,000. So use that 200,000 while you're recovering. You know, now you're sick and you're recovering. That 200,000 replace the 150 what you left, 150 what you lost. So in all, you can focus on getting better, right? Focus on getting healthy, not have to worry about the income of what you lost, just simply by having a brief conversation with Leah, and she can just show you how to upgrade from the old insurance to new insurance. Now, let's look here. Here's the question for people that are a little bit further down the road. I know we have some young people on here, and maybe you're in the vein now where you're starting to think about this, but let me just ask you, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? Because when you look at the graph here, you can see that the average person the average person when they're doing well in regards to retirement, or when they reach the age of retirement, they probably have about $1 million in assets. So if you're not on track, maybe to have $1 million plus an asset, and that's only usually about 5% of the population. Do you think you're going to have a great retirement? Again, retirements, it's all dependent on you in terms of what level you want to be at when you retire. Because a couple of things that happen for people that have, let's say, traditional retirements. One of the things is the vehicles in which you use for retirement, it gets eaten up in taxes. So you have the money in there, it looks great while it's growing, but on the back end, you have to pay the taxes. So you don't really receive all that you have in there. The other thing is when you have the money in the market, the money that's in the market is subject to what happens in the market. So and you experience some losses, then you have to play catch up with your plan. So again, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? If you have some doubt, Leah's going to be able to help you. Let me just show you a simple concept what she can help you with. Your money can take one of three paths. It can go up, it can go down, or your money can stay the same. Now, if you had the ability to eliminate one of those actions from your portfolio, which one would you want to take away? Would you want to take away the ability of your money go up, take away it going down, or take away for it to go the same? Which one would you want to eliminate? What do we have there in the chat?
We have grow my dollars, eliminate down. So if someone wants to
Okay.
grow,
Okay.
eliminate down.
So let's get rid of down. So what we're saying is that you want to put your money in a place where it can only go up or stay the same, but never experience any losses. Like Warren Buffett said, the first rule of investing is never lose money. But rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. So I'm with you. So Leah can actually show you a plan where you can put your money in where it can only go up or stay the same, but never go down. The only thing you have to do is decide when you talk to her is that if you want to start that plan with a lump sum, you want to start it with a monthly payment, or both. That makes sense for everybody? So again, you want to give Leah a high five or a virtual high five for inviting you to this information today. Let's just say Leah is the plug in order for you to be able to erase that doubt. Now, there's 3 promises for your retirement generally. There's the promise from the government. Let's say Social Security. Some people say Social Security is the greatest Ponzi scheme ever created because you put your money in a place where you're hoping for a payout later on. Because when Social Security was first created, it was created to be able to pay out at age 65, but the average person was living to about 63. So it wasn't really created to be able to fund for everyone, because there was about 40 people that were paying into the system for every one person taken out. But now, as time has progressed, and as we see people are living a long time, and people are living longer, it's starting to put a strain on the Social Security system. And as you follow the political season this year, as the election season is coming up, you're start to hear some talks about Social Security, and it's going to be depleted in about a decade. So we can rely on that. But what's happening is because of the advent of entrepreneurism, I think it was either 2022 or maybe 2023, but there's more people than ever, let's say like about 35, 40% of the population that's actually not paying into Social Security because they're putting their money in other places. So that may not be the best place for you to really put all your eggs in that basket. Think about your employer. One of the main things, the most popular plan for retirement is going to be the pension plans. If you have that, usually you have a government job or a 401k. And 401k, I don't know if you know how those 401ks work. It's like putting your money in tax prison, because you put your money in a 401k, and then you can't really take it until you're actually you retire or you leave the job. It's really when you separate from the company or you hit a certain age, 59 and a half. Now, if anyone has an old 401k from an old employer, again, we talked about you losing money. You may want to get with Leah. She can show you how to be able to take that out of the market while you still have that money sitting there, so you don't experience any losses. Because what happens with the 401k, or she can probably maybe show you even how to change it so you can save yourself some money in taxes. But I mean, you probably all, would you think that taxes in the future, you can type in the chat, the taxes in the future, they're going to go up or are they going to go down? You can type that in the chat. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to go up or it's going to go down? Okay. I mean, here's the thing. When you have the money inside the 401k plan, you're deferring the taxes till later on. So you put your money in there and you're hoping that it goes up, not from the market, but you're deferring it till later on. So if tax is going to be higher in the future, when you take it out, you're going to take it out you're going to take it out at a higher tax rate. So you're going to have to take out, well, you have to give away more of the money until you actually, well, give away more of the money at that time than you would have if you would actually taken it, paid the taxes earlier. Think of let's say a farmer. Here's an analogy. Think of a farmer. He has a bag of seed. So, and then after all the crops grow, he has 6 trucks that are driving away with all the crops. So if you were the farmer, would you want to pay the tax on that bag of seed before you plant the crops? Or would you want to pay the taxes on all the crops in those big 6 trucks that are driving away? That's kind of how you think of the 401k. It's better than doing nothing, but you talk to Leah, she may be able to show you some alternatives based on what you want to do. Again, if you want to eliminate some of that doubt from your retirement plan. And then the one that you control is going to be your personal, what it is you can do regards to the personal. That's the golden egg. So you want to be able to, let's say you have some money in different places where the market can increase, or where you have control over it, where the market increases, so you don't experience any losses. You have the ability to eliminate the taxes in that program, so that way you can maximize in terms of what you have in your retirement. So the one you have the most control over, what you want to think about is maybe that personal, that where you put the money in personal. Again, Leah is going to be your resident expert to be able to show you how to maximize what you're doing personally. Now,
Yeah, Jimmy,
yes, ma'am.
you talked about taxes. One person put in a comment that when you asked a question about money go up, down, or stay the same, one person said they would want to take away down and staying the same because inflation eats away at the being stagnant. And so you add taxes into that mix where you're waiting and you're prolonging with a 401k, a taxable event or taxable experience that's something that you can't control either, or you can by making decisions now, and Leah can help to put yourself in a situation where you're in fact addressing the inflation and also the taxation should you be pulling your money out at a later point, which is something you can't control.
Okay. Hopefully that answered the question for that individual, or maybe it added on to that point. But again, what we could do is whoever had that question, we could just schedule a time with Leah later on. Leah's the expert to be able to show you how to be able to maximize everything. Now, here's a question for everyone here. What's more important to you, accumulation or cash flow? You can type it in the chat, and let me give you an example of both. Accumulation is like, let's say, the average person, when they retire, in their retirement account, the average person in America, they have less than $50,000. Let's just say that they doubled that in regards of when they retire. Let's just say they doubled that retirement and they have $100,000 in their account. That's what they accumulated. Now, when it comes time for them to retire, they start taking the money out. Let's say they're taking the money out at $2,000 a month to be able to supplement their retirement or be able to pay their retirement. So they accumulated $100,000, taking out $2,000 a month, and less than 5 years, that account is depleted. Now, cash flow works a little bit like this. Talk about that Social Security again. So let's just say somebody has Social Security, they're getting $2,000 a month. The Social Security is going to come in month after month after month. So, whether the person lives for another 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, that money's coming in month after month. They can count on that cash flow of $2,000 month after month. So thinking about where you are or what it is you want to accomplish, what would you say is more important to you? Would you say it would be accumulation or cash flow?
We have several people that said cash flow.
Okay, well, here's the great thing about this is that Leah can help you with both. So you don't have to choose. Because you came here today, right? Today and today only. No, I'm just playing. But because you came here today, now that you know, Leah's the expert. She can show you how to be able to maximize both. She has a lot of experience in this area. Now, let me give you an example and show you how this works. Bring it all home for you, but put it all together. Show you how accumulation, cash flow, and taxes all come together. And we'll use an example of the two brothers. So there's the old way. What people do, save in the 401k. We say brother A on the left, he's saving in the 401k, and they're both 35 years old. They're going to be saving for 30 years, earning 8%, which we know is not really common in the 401k. But for the sake of this argument, we're going to say he doesn't experience any losses in 30 years. We're going to say the market never goes down, so he has a steady return of 8%. Brother B is going to be saving in a life savings account, which Leah can help you set up if you decide to do that, where he's going to be doing it the same exact thing. So brother A, he's got $6,500 going into a 401k. The employer's matching, right, his $6,500 with another $1,000, and he has a life insurance policy. If he passed away prematurely of $600,000, he's paying $680 a year. Brother B doesn't have a 401k at all, has no match, and he's putting $7,200 into a life savings account that also has a death benefit of $600,000 if he passes away prematurely. So after 30 years, brother A, his account has grown to $850,000. The 30-year policy expired. He no longer has any life insurance, but he still has the $850,000. He saved over those 30 years $65,000 in taxes. Again, he has $850,000 in his account. Brother B only has $709,000 in his account, but because it's a life savings account, the death benefit has to keep growing beyond what the cash value is in the policy. He didn't save any money during taxes, but again, his cash grew to $709,000. So would you say at this point, who would you say is the winner after 30 years? Brother A with the $850 or brother B with the $700? Now, when you look at, this is what we talk about. This is the accumulation phase. This is the cash flow. So now, in the cash flow, both of them are going to take out about $97,000 or less than $100,000 a year. Brother A, for him to take out the $97,000, he's got to actually withdraw close to $130,000 because he still owes those taxes at a 25% tax rate. And some of you said you think taxes are going to go up and be higher. So for him to walk away with $97,000, he's got to pay that tax bill of $32,000. He's got to take out $129,000. So after 9 years, that $850,000 he had in his account, he runs out of money at age 74. Now, brother B, because he has it in a life savings account, it works a little differently. He has that same $97,000, but what he does, the asset is the life savings account. He takes a loan every year. Because he takes the money as a loan, the account just keeps compounding over and over as if the money was never taken out. But because he takes that as a loan, so think about when you get a personal loan, you take a loan for a car, you do a cash out refinance from your home, you don't have to count that as income. Therefore, the loan is tax-free. He owes no money in taxes. So if he kept taking out the loan every year and the money just kept compounding if it never taken out at that same 8% growth, if brother B lived to age 100, he would actually be able to use $3 million, all in tax-free income, and still leave behind a death benefit of $3 million to his family. So now, this is kind of what you see on TV, the accumulation, the 850 or the 709, but this is what you experience in real life. So now when you think about it, would you rather be brother A or brother B? When we talked about cash flow and accumulation, if you say brother B, Leah can show you how you could become brother B and set up an account like that for yourself where you can maximize the accumulation and the cash flows. She can show you how to be able to do both and be able to save in terms of taxes.
We have a couple said brother B.
Okay.
So, excuse me, Jimmy. So
Yeah.
brother B is cash flow. Is that correct?
Brother B basically is doing the same exact thing, just putting it in a different place. When you put it in a different place, you're going to get the result. This is the cash flow. They both have cash flow. It's just that his cash flow lasts longer because he's doing the same thing. Like you take the money out of your left pocket and put it in the right pocket.
Gotcha.
That's the same thing. Just that he's experienced a different result because he took a different path.
Would it be fair to say, Jimmy, sorry, would it be fair to say, can you go back there for a second? So the part of the point of this exercise is that there's really no wrong answer. Okay. You don't have to choose, do I want to accumulate or do I want to have cash flow? We've got we've got tools that can allow you to find the balance, because as we move through different phases of our life, our cash flow and our insurance and our outlays go through different phases as well. So as you can see, at age 65, brother A is kind of ahead on the accumulation tip, right? But it catches up later. So just like when we talk to our clients, when you're at different phases of your life, a term policy is more appropriate for this time, a final expense policy is more appropriate for that time. We look at products here that find that balance. So like for me, I'm thinking about retirement right now. Okay. I got to think, okay, when I finally stop working every day, I'm really focused on cash flow. So we would choose a product for me that was really leaning harder into the cash flow. If I were my daughter, okay, she's got to be thinking, okay, when I get old, I need some money, but in between now and then, I need some cash. So we need to find something for her that has a better balance, that's maybe weighted heavier towards accumulation at the beginning, that's going to give her the cash flow she needs at the end. So there is no wrong answer. Okay? There's no wrong answer.
Thank you, Leah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this point, we just ask people, where do you see yourself at this point? And again, like Leah said, there's no wrong answer. Well, we generally find people in one of three categories. One, you see yourself as a person that has a few more questions. Two, you're a person that says, you like what you saw, but you want to have more information about putting the plan together, because you have plans and you want to make sure that if you live a long time, or put something in place that unfortunately, if you like COVID, you die too soon, or if you became sick along the way, like you have to go see Dr. Sawyer, you want to have something in place to be able to take care of you. Or three, like more information about joining Leah and generating income from what she does. So you can type in the chat, do you see yourself as a person that is a 1, a 2, or a 3? And I would say if you see yourself as a 1, there's no foolish question. Go ahead and ask the question. We can go ahead and answer it for you. Or if you don't want to shout it out now, not a problem. You can contact Leah directly, or you can send her a message directly, and then we can point you in the right direction. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, speak now or forever hold. No, I'm just playing. So, because what we're going to do is, for those of you that want to see like more information about generating income from what we do, the second portion of this is going to be geared towards how you can actually join Leah, and you can be able to benefit from what she's doing. Like one of the things you do, but well, let me just back up. So now that you know what she does, everyone can actually be a referral partner of Leah's if you choose to. We have multiple referral programs where you refer people, but now that you know what she does, you kind of have an idea of how she's going to be able to service people. So you can talk to you individually about those referral programs. If you just want to refer, also, you can hop off now if you just want to make an appointment with her about developing a plan for yourself, or if you have the old kind of insurance, you just want to upgrade it to the new insurance, or you had some doubt about your retirement, or you had that old 401k and you want to get it out of the market because like Leah said, you're leaning towards retirement, you're getting closer to retirement, so you don't want to lose any principal. Those are all reasons why you want to just set up a time to be able to talk to her as the expert, so she can be able to assess your personal situation from your situation, help you find a solution that's going to be right for you. Now, for everyone else who wants to learn more about what she does on the back end, we're going to go beyond, go a little bit further and talk about the income. So for those that are jumping off now, we thank you for your time. We thank you for spending your Saturday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the country, depending on where you are in the world, maybe evening. We thank you for spending that time with us and coming out and supporting Leah. Okay. So the company which we partner with that has her excited is Experior Financial Group. Experior is growing, and Experior is the first company that actually started in Canada and came to the US. Usually most companies come from the US and then they go to Canada. So what's unique about Experior is, again, going from the US to Canada, but we have Canadian guidelines in terms of being able to grow for those that are in the industry. It made it a little bit simpler for people to be able to hit those top levels through Experior. And now we're growing beyond the US and Canada, because what Experior has done, for those that are looking to understand why Leah is so excited, is that they partner with one of the CFOs who actually was able to take eXp Realty from 2 countries, whenever in the US, Canada, to 22 countries in 5 years. But in that process, EXP went from let's say a $400 billion company, I'm sorry, a $400 million company to a $5 billion company. So he's actually helping us put that same blueprint together to help us expand. That's why there's so many on here of us on here now that's so excited, because we're now in the US, Canada, Puerto Rico, and then later on this year, beginning of next year, it'd be in Mexico. So now these are some of the billion-dollar companies that we work with. As you can see up in the right-hand corner, when I talked about the little girl, she became let's say an orphan. This is the company Foresters that actually would pay out the benefit to her beneficiary, I'm sorry, to her guardian, $900 a month until she became 18 years old. When we talk about this company here, Mutual of Omaha, was in a meeting before with Brent Bench, and just think about this, what Brent said, that if everybody that has a policy with Mutual of Omaha today, if they passed away today, and Mutual of Omaha had to pay all the claims tomorrow, next week, they would still have $20 billion in assets. So give you an idea how strong that company is. National Life Group, when we asked about, if you got sick and you couldn't work, would you want to get a get well card or a check? This is the company that actually started that whole phenomenon. We have other companies like F&G and Transamerica who kind of offer those same benefits on there that enable you to, if you got sick and couldn't work, you'd be able to put that together. You look at a Nexus and Quantum, who we're partnering with, they have put together with North American and Nationwide some programs where we're able to bring Wall Street to Main Street. So Nationwide is on your side, but there's some products that Nationwide offers that you couldn't walk into a Nationwide office and get. You'd have to actually go to Leia to be able to get them. Like, for instance, have you ever heard of JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs? Leia has the ability through Nationwide and the Quantum Group to show you how you can make money the same way JP Morgan does and the same way Goldman Sachs does. But if you walked into a Nationwide office, you're not going to be able to do that. But because you're here today with Leia, you have that ability to be able to grow that. And have you ever heard or seen online some people talk about be your own banker? Well, Mutual Trust, Lafayette Life, these are some of the leaders in that area. You probably recognize some of these other names. Now, this is what we talk about insurance. This is what people get excited about. And this is how does Experior agents or insurance agents get paid here at Experior. Now, the numbers I'm using here, a little lower than the national average, is about $1,800 in annual premium. The Experior average is about $2,200, but we're going to use this round number of $1,200. So as an agent, you can get paid anywhere from 70% of the $1,200 to 130% of the $1,200. And this is how it works. When somebody gets let's say a life insurance policy for $100 a month, right? What the insurance company does, they annualize the policy. They take all 12 months, $100 in premium, and annualize it to $1,200. And then turn around as an agent, you could make, depending on what your level is, you would make a certain percentage of that. So if you start out, the lowest anyone starts out with us, and we don't have a lot of different levels, it goes up in increments of 15%. So you start out at 70%, of that $1,200, you'd make $840. Now, we have a fast track to show people how to be able to get to 85% before they even get their license. So you can hit the ground running at 85%, or 85%, and of that $1,200, you make $1,020 of that. And let's just say you reach a level of 100%. This is round numbers. 100% of 1,200 is 1,200. But here's this when an individual that's starting to build an organization, build a team. So here's where it gets, let's say, a little bit better if you decide to do that, where you have other people that are making 70% and 85%. So let's just say that someone went out on your organization today. You're here on this Zoom with Leia, and then somebody in your organization right now, they're helping a family be able to put a plan in place for $100 a month. They're going to make $840. And because you're here at this level, you'll make the difference between their 70% and your 100%. You make 30%, so you're going to make $360 from that transaction, even though you never met the people, but you love them. Right? So this can happen over and over again. And then when they hit this level, you make the difference. They do the same work, they make more money. And then what you're going to do, because you brought that person on, even though you don't do anything, you make the difference between this level and this level, the $280. So I'm sorry, the $180. $180. Yeah. We had a teacher on here, so I had to make sure I get my math. I made to pull my calculator out. We have a teacher on here and make sure I correct that. Now, people ask, can it make money? And we say the sky is the limit. You can start out part-time. This is where most of the people in our organization, everyone, they work on a part-time or spare time basis, they make about $25,000 a year, help a few families a month. And this is kind of where you're going out, let's say on Saturday morning, working with some families, or say people that are looking for the final expense, the funeral coverage. You're just going out helping a few seniors put that in place. And some people may do in a senior center, they may just do a webinar, or I mean, just do let's say an event inside the senior center. A couple people come up, they write policies. This is where they make that $25,000 a year in terms of not having to go stand in the mall or go get a part-time job and go around driving all day. And you could be part-time into full-time. This is when you start building a little organization. You're helping a few partners that help 2 or 3 families a month, and now you're making about $75,000 a year. But this is where people start thinking about a career change, start having that passive income from the difference from what they do and what their team is doing is starting to produce. Or some people like that have the bigger vision. They can think of an agency owner. So now they're helping build 2 or 3 families a month. I mean, helping teams of people help those 2 or 3 families a month, and now they're making the 6 figures up into the 7 figures, and say the 6 figures plus. But they earn agency overrides, and they helping other people build across the U.S. and Canada, as well as Mexico in the future, and any other countries in which we'll be heading to. Now, this is what we say is the difference. And if you're not in the insurance industry, some of this stuff may not make a lot of sense to you now. But if you talk to if you know other insurance people, then by all means, if they're looking for a switch, looking for a change, why don't you just direct them to Leia, so she can be able to tell them, and this will make a lot of sense to them, because we saw the generous compensation for people that are team builders, but as well as individual producers. Usually, many other companies is like either or. For you to be able to advance, it's this company, you can do it this way, or you can do it that way. Here, we like to say you choose your own adventure. We can show the person how to be able to get to the top contract in any direction in which they want to go. And you own your own book of business from day one. And this may not make a lot of sense to you, but it's big, because the organization Leia came from, you probably heard her story. Some of the people on here, they have a Facebook group, and I saw somebody post in the Facebook group because they were sharing opportunities just like this one of people to be able to find a new place to land after that whole thing went away. And then somebody had posted in there, and this stood out to me, that you can own your book of business after 10 years. And I was like, wow, 10 years is it's a decade. But in the insurance world, most people don't last, let's say, more than 5 years with an organization, unless they have something to latch onto like this. They kind of go from organization to organization because things happen, it collapses. But if they have something like what we have on the back end, this legacy ownership and the agency equity, that people stick around. But the excellent training in the back office, the support which you have, you can see all the people that showed up here to support Leia. But the great thing is, it was created for agents by agents. And I think our CEO is a talk on the street that our CEO actually brought in a pretty big team. So he's out there still doing the same thing that we're doing in order to be able to grow the company. So if you see something that you like here, you have some more questions, you're asking yourself, how do you start? You just want to complete what we say our agency ownership agreement. That's the legal document, kind of explains everything, what it is we do, what our obligations are to you, what your obligations are, in terms of being able to keep your business above board and keep it compliant. Also, you just want to schedule an orientation with the coach, with your coach Leia, or someone else, to be able to show you how to be able to do this and be able to take yourself from where you are now to where it is you want to be. Experior and Leia are just basically just going to be the bridge. Yeah. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns, or any of the other executive directors on here would like to come off and mute and add anything to what we're talking about? Anyone before we close it out?
I want to say, Leah, congratulations. You had a nice turnout here. I know that you're going to have the recording. And again, you have all of us here to support you as well. What we have here, folks, is something that is very, very exciting, serious, and it's really ground floor as far as Experior is concerned. And that's what sold me on coming to Experior myself. The fact that we're only on the ground floor and really, really expanding as a company to bring licensed agents on, teams of licensed agents on, in order to really, really help families and our friends and those that we know. So that is the goal. So Leah, congratulations to you and the relaunch of your financial services business agency, being an owner from day one, and we look forward to helping you continue to grow.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming.
I wanted to say, Leah, congratulations on your new start here. I hope that you get the kind of support from the organization that helps you to sort of build your first book of business, because I know that once you get that going, your experience in building teams and building a network, and you're managing, your experience in managing them and making them productive to be able to coach them, has been demonstrated over the decades. So I would encourage your upline to do whatever it takes to make sure that they support you in getting, your first sort of book of business and helping you get catalyzed, because that's the hard part. The hard part is getting, getting the inertia broken. But it will be to your upline's advantage to do whatever it takes to help you get past that piece, because once you get past that piece, you will build a strong and effective team. So I'm asking that your upline support you and make sure that you have the resources, even if that means they need to take some of their potential leads and get them onto your book so that you can really get things moving. Because, as business owners ourselves, we know how hard it is. We know how hard the relationships that you need to build are to build. I don't want you to be left out there sort of fighting on your own. The information is good, but they need to make sure that they bring you through. So I'm encouraging that kind of support, because that kind of support is going to really produce big gains for your upline, because we know what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Rick. And honestly, doing this virtual grand opening is just exactly that. That's Judy and Eric and Jimmy going, come on, Leah, you need to do this, because you know that I am not the social networking girl, right? So there's a little arm twisting going on to get me to do this, but to help me understand that that's part of it. And I've just never, the life insurance and stuff, we kind of fell into it in a way, but the universe lined up the way that it needed to, so that I could learn what I needed to along the way. But the truth is that without my team, without bringing this team from assurance that I've trained and I've gotten to know, and we actually care about each other, I'd be terrified to try this. I couldn't do it without my team. So we're gonna get this thing going. And now I'm finally at a place where I've never before shared really what I was doing with the family, because I was like, it's really not all that. I knew there was more that could be done. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, I actually could help somebody that I care about and feel good about everything that we're talking about. And that's the difference this time. That's what it's about. So thank you guys for coming out and supporting me, because this little networking thing is kind of hard for me.
Leah, Crystal has her hand up.
Oh, hey, Crystal.
Hey, amazing human. So I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to your grand opening. And secondly, I hear a lot of people say, hey, you're going to need a lot of help. You're going to need a lot of support. I just want to remind you of how powerful you are. You are amazing. You are by far the best of us out of this group. You know what you're doing. You have the skills. You know how to transfer knowledge. You have everything you need already. And I'm excited to be here as you get started.
Well, thank you, Crystal, for even pointing me in these guys' direction.
You're welcome.
That's on you, girl. Thank you.
Any other comments? We are here to support you, and this is just the beginning. And we're here to support those team members that are on this line, which is a demonstration of your leadership as well, because you have some of those team members that came along with you here. And what you're doing right now is exactly what a true leader does, is lead the way by starting with what we're doing right now and having your virtual re-grand opening. And so you know that we are going to be there to support in the same way your team members to do, if they choose to start with this, have a virtual grand opening for themselves. And Jimmy and I will be there to help, Eric and Mary, and we actually talk about support, people that are on these lines. There are people here. There's another executive director that's not even tied to you, Jacques Vaughn's on here. You've got the support. There's some other team members that aren't directly aligned from Experior that are here to support you as well. So that being said, family support. And I started out, I went to family because I wanted to help family, but it was more important for me to help family with their financial services. And my cousin, she rolled over she trusted me enough to roll over her 401k into an annuity that I wrote on her behalf and benefited from, but more importantly, I helped her. So it's so much bigger than that with what we do here. It's not just final expenses, but a whole lot more. So Leah, congratulations. We're going to take this further and enjoy next week. But when you come back, we're going to hold the ship down. And when you come back, we're going to keep that ship moving. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
And
Congratulations
for all
again.
my team that's on here, thanks guys. Thank you so much for coming. I wanted to step out and do this because you guys know me. I'll never ask you to do anything that I have not done myself. And it makes me a better coach for you when I've kind of gone through all the paces so I can help you guys along the way. So that was the other reason why I felt like I need to step out here in front and do this, because I think that this is going to be good for each of you. But I can't ask you to do it if I won't do it, right? So now we're here. And I have like 10 friends outside my family. So if I can do it, y'all can definitely do it. You guys have a great Saturday, okay?
Leah, I just wanted to say quickly before we all hopped off that I completely concur with what Crystal has said, that you are and you have within you already everything that you need to be successful. You already are. You've demonstrated above and beyond when we were together, Assurance, your leadership ability and your love and your caring. That's why I knew I wanted to follow wherever you went. And that's not only true for me, that's true for many other people. They may or may not be on this call, but many people wanted to follow or come with you because of who you are and what you've demonstrated as a leader. So you've got this, and you've got my support. I'm lifting you up, holding you up, and covering you. So let's do this.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Let's have a blessed day, and everybody be safe, and we'll chat soon. Okay.